All right.
Could we show some love for ourselves? And that was just the warm up. Can we show a little bit more love for ourselves? Take a breath. And remind yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not perceive my own best interests. You do not perceive your own best interests. Isn't that pretty evident by now? You do not perceive your own best interests. You don't perceive your own best interests. And everything is for your own best interests. Everything is for your own best interest, whether you know it or not. Whether you feel it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you feel it or not, I say everything is for your own best interest. You do not perceive your own best interest. Today you claim the gifts forgiveness gives. You are affected only by your thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. I am affected only by my thoughts. You are affected by only your thoughts, 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 only your thoughts. You are affected only by your thoughts. You will receive whatever you request. You will receive whatever you request. Lesson 338, you will receive whatever you request. You can be free of suffering today. I can be free of suffering today. You can be free of suffering today. We can be free of suffering today. Do you want to be free of suffering today? Do you want to be free of suffering today? We can be free today. We can be free today. 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 We can be free today. We can be free of suffering today. You don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to accept these ideas. You don't have to welcome these ideas. Some of these ideas you may actively resist. 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 Some of these ideas I may actively resist. Do you know? Some of these ideas you may actively resist. Some of these ideas, do you know, you're going to find, do you know, hard to believe. Do you know that some of these ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of these ideas you will find quite startling. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. The use of the ideas, using the ideas, applying the ideas, using the ideas will give these ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Spirit, show us that the ideas are true. Spirit, show us that the ideas are true. Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Spirit, show me that the ideas are true. Spirit, show us that the ideas are true. Spirit, show us that the ideas are true. I love you. You look even juicier.
You look even juicier too.
Thank you for your correct perception. I can always tell when I'm getting one. So I appreciate that. I had a wonderful time in England. Had an incredible workshop. Incredible people, lots of love, lots of revelation, lots of realization. My main revelation is that only God's plan for my happiness will work. It's just two parts to that. God's plan will work, ours won't. He said those are the two parts. God's plan will work, yours won't. God's plan will work, mine won't. Love's plan will work, mine won't. So the thing that I've been working on is the one that goes, only God's plan for salvation will work, because it says that the one plan that we come up with that doesn't work is that we try to use our mind to come up with everything that needs to change in our lives for us to be happy, but our own mind. So we're using our mind to figure out what needs to change beside it. And so I realized that every time I'm unhappy, it's because I'm telling myself, if this were different, I'd be saved. If this were different, I'd be happy. If this were different, I could feel peace. If this was different, I would feel joy. And I realized that that's the game that I've been playing on myself for as long as I've been on the planet. And it's also the game that I see everyone around me playing who's not happy, is if someone else spoke differently, if someone else acted differently, if there was a different situation I'm in, a different circumstance I'm in, then I would be really happy right now. So then I'm here with you in a loving place, in a loving space, and then I'm thinking about what needs to be different in order for me to be happy. So then I miss how cool the experience is I'm having in this moment, because I'm busy thinking, well, if it's a different time of the day, I'd be happy, because later on I'm going to go do blah, 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 blah. Or something happened yesterday and last night that's not really cool, and so if that were different, I'd be happy right now. So I am, to the best of my ability, trying to stop it. Remind me of this joke I saw on YouTube the other day, where this lady went to this psychologist, and he said that he only counsels for 5 minutes, and his price is $1 a minute. And she was like, "Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome." And then he said, "Well, but rarely people have lasted 5 minutes in therapy with me." And she said, "Really?" She was all excited. And so she immediately went into all the things that her story that she was upset about, that she wished was different in the person that she wished was different in the situation, is different in what happened when she was a child, and once I get this, then I'll be happy. And then he just looked at her, took a deep breath, and said, "Stop it!"
Stop it.
stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop telling yourself that. Stop your story. Stop the blaming. Stop the projection. Stop the being unhappy. Stop wanting somebody else to change in order for me to be happy. Stop wishing something was different in order to be happy. Just stop it. I said, wow. So if you really have begun to get in touch with your healing, if you really want to have happiness, and the Course in Miracles defines healing as the undoing of fear, because it says everything that you're going through is some form of fear, and that the only thing that's making me and you unhappy right now is the feelings that we're giving ourselves right now, not the situation that we think we're unhappy about. It's the feeling we're having about it that's making us feel the way we feel. Then it says, if you are ever healed, should healing be repeated? And that's what we're going to be in the teacher's manual. Should healing be repeated on page 22? Should healing be repeated? Should healing be repeated? Should the undoing of fear be repeated? It says, the question really answers itself. Healing can be repeated. You can't have repeat healing. You can't keep being healed of the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You can't keep getting the same problem solved over and over and over again. He says because if the patient is healed, the Course in Miracles calls us patients. It says we're patients. And it says if the patient is healed, what remains to heal them from? If you've been healed, what do you need to be healed from? If you've been healed, what do you need to be healed from? And then he says, because if healing is certain, and real healing is always certain, then it says, what is there to repeat? If I've really gotten over it, why do I need to repeat it? If I've really changed my mind, why do I keep dealing with the same thing over and over again? What he says, for a teacher of God, that's you. For a demonstrator of love, that's you. Says, for the teacher of God to remain concerned about the result of healing is to limit the healing. So the thing that limits the healing is remaining concerned about the result of healing. What keeps the forgiveness from happening is me being concerned about the result of forgiving. The concern about the result prevents the healing. Being concerned about the result, he says, limits the healing. So if you're still concerned about the result of your trying to be loving or healing or giving or correcting, he says it's now you whose mind that needs to be healed. If you're the person that's concerned, it's your mind that needs to be healed. If you're the person that's worried, it's your mind that needs to be healed. If you're the person that's angry, it's not the other person that... It's funny, I was flying back on the jet, and I was watching a movie, and this guy just came out of nowhere, I mean, like gigantic. And he was talking to the guy sitting next to me, and first of all, it felt like a part of me, which is what he was invading my space. Heaven forbid a part of me comes into my space. And so I was there, and he was talking to this guy, and he was like reaching over like this and kind of blocking my view. And I was sitting there, and I was watching my mind go, if this were different, I'd be healed. If this were different, I'd be happy right now. If he wasn't leaning over me, if he wasn't in my space. And then he had what I perceived to be a call for love that took the form of body odor. And so not only was he in my space, he was funky. And not the Rick James kind, you know what I'm saying? Not the James Brown kind of funky. So I'm sitting there, and then I remember Jesus says in the Course of Miracles, says, you can tell when you're having a temptation to attack, because when you're having a temptation to attack, you feel this twinge of anger, this little twinge. You know what I'm talking about when you're like trying to be cool, and you can just, it's like Mount Vesuvius or something. You just kind of feel it coming up your back, and and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and thank goodness, what's so interesting about studying the Course for so long is that now I take the feelings of discomfort or lack of peace or fear or anger as an indication that my ego is on board. Where I used to take it as an indication to be self-righteous in my anger and my attack. Now, when I feel that way, well, okay, my ego is trying to get me to be motivated at this moment. And he's 7 feet tall, he'll beat the hell out of you. So, he was like the Hulk, I'm serious. I was like sitting there like, okay, all right. But I know, I know a little stuff to do, though.
Okay.
If I have to attack, I know a few deadly things. So as soon as I felt that twinge, as soon as I felt that guilt, as soon as I felt that anger, then I've learned to go, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? What you want me to do? What you want me to say? Take a breath. Take a breath. That's what I heard. Just take a breath. Take a breath. You know that no matter what you need to do, you don't need to do it out of this place of anger that you're in right now, because you know that's your ego. You know it's your ego that's trying to be behind what you're getting ready to do because you don't like the way you feel. So I just took a breath. As soon as I took a breath, he went, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I'm really, wow, just okay. I'm sorry about that, brother, being all over you like that." And then he left. Now, had I acted from my ego, it probably wouldn't have been that outcome. You know, they would have had to just take him to the hospital as soon as the plane landed. Unfortunately, nothing got to that point. And so, what was the lesson in that? Don't let your ego direct your actions. Mm-hmm. Don't let your anger and your fear and your upset direct your actions. There's no such thing as you listening to the Holy Spirit and listening to the love in you and listening to the truth in you and you want to attack. And that 1 minute that I took to say, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? Was all it took for the holy instant to happen and a healing happened in that situation. And even if it had not happened, if I could have gotten to that space of peace, I still could have gotten better direction about how to handle the situation. So what I'm telling you is stop trusting your anger. Stop trusting your upset. Stop trusting your unhappiness. Stop using that as the gauge of how correct you are about anything that's happening or anything that's going on. You cannot be angry and be right from a Course in Miracles perspective.
I'm never right.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, because if I'm never right, then that means that there is a right, and so now I have somewhere to go for an answer. Now I have somewhere to go for a solution. Now there's another way to look at it. But if I'm right and I'm miserable, where do I go? So be glad that you're wrong most of the time if you're unhappy most of the time, that you're lying to yourself most of the time, you're not telling yourself the truth. So it's telling me that, so if you are angry, if you are concerned, he says, then it's now your mind that needs to be healed, and this is what you must facilitate because you're now the patient. So the minute I got upset, I became the patient. And then it says, then I must regard myself as a patient. So if you're concerned about what you've been giving, what you've been experiencing, the outcome of healing, then right now say, I am the patient. Tell yourself, I am the patient. I need to regard myself as the patient. And then he says, you have made a mistake in being concerned about something that you've given up to spirit. If you're concerned about a healing, he says you made a mistake, and so you must be willing to change your mind about it. So what do you do with the mistake? You just be willing to change your mind about it. What do I do with a mistake? I just must become willing to change my mind about the mistake. That's what I do with mistakes. I become willing to change my mind about it. How can I tell when I made a mistake? I am concerned. I am angry. I am upset. I am the patient. So, what does that mean? He says, well, it means you lack the trust that makes forgiving truly, so you haven't received the benefit of your gifts. So if I'm giving you love, if I'm giving you forgiveness, if I'm giving you peace as best I can, then if I trust that that's what I'm doing, I will receive the benefit of the gift. So if you think you're giving something and not receiving, then you're not trusting. If you think you're giving something and you're not receiving, you're not trusting. So he says, whenever you have tried to be a channel for healing, you've succeeded. Whenever you try to be a channel for love, a channel for healing, a channel for light, he says you have succeeded. Every time you try to be helpful, you have succeeded. Doesn't this book sound like it's always saying things that's directly opposite to the way that you're perceiving? That's why you know it's the truth. That's why you know it's the truth. You don't feel happy all the time, which means you don't know the truth and I don't know the truth, which means the truth would have to be the opposite to whatever I'm telling myself. So the next thing I need to recognize is if you are tempted to doubt that you have been a channel for healing and that you've succeeded every time you tried to be a channel for love, he said you shouldn't repeat your previous effort. So if you tried to be helpful and it looked like you weren't, then don't try no more. If you tried to be helpful and you tried to be a channel for healing and you tried to be the channel for the truth and it looked like it didn't do any good, if at all possible, he says, don't repeat your previous effort. Because when you tried to be helpful, that was maximal, because the Holy Spirit so accepted your willingness to be helpful and used it. So Spirit uses every desire you have to be helpful and will use your desire to be helpful to its maximum level of benefit. And if it looks like to you, you haven't succeeded, you shouldn't repeat your previous effort. So now you have only one course of action. Now you have only one course of action, one course to follow. Now you only have one course to follow. You must let your reason tell you that you've given the problem to one who cannot fail. You've given the problem to one who cannot fail. You've given the problem to the Creator who cannot fail. So you must recognize that your own uncertainty isn't love. Your own uncertainty is fear and therefore hate. So if I have a problem, if I have been trying to be a channel for love and I have tried to be a channel for healing, and I doubt that I've succeeded, I shouldn't repeat my previous effort, because if I really say I've given it to God, if I really say I've given it to the higher power, and I've given it to the part that cannot fail, then my own uncertainty and my own doubt and my own concern about you and everything that I've done with you isn't love. Continued concern isn't love. Continued concern is attack. Continued concern is attack. It doesn't look like that's what it is, but that's what it is, because all you're doing is putting more fear on the situation than is already there, so you're really not helping at all. You're adding fear, and the problem ultimately is always rooted in fear. So your concern is just another form of fear, so it's not really helpful. Continued concern. I've asked what to do. I've done what I've been told to do. I've given it up to Spirit. And if I still have doubt and concern and worry, then I'm the patient. I'm the one who needs to have my faith worked on, because I've given it to a power that cannot fail. And my continued concern is just adding fear and doubt to the situation. I know I'm surprised anybody ever come to my class. Really, because you know, the Course in Miracles teaches that basically people just want to feel good. They don't really basically want to change. They just want to feel good. And the truth, when you hear it from the part of you that's not practicing it, doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be told the way that I handle everything is completely wrong. See, because the issue, we already know what the issue is. If something outside of me changed, I'd be happy. I just need to figure out what needs to be changed, who needs to be changed, and where it needs to be changed. That's what I'm trying to figure out all day. I call it my visualization, my plan. The thing I've come up with today that's going to make me feel good today. That is what I come up with to make myself happy, but it usually involves a person entertaining me, a situation fulfilling a fantasy. I really wake up in the morning trying to have my fantasies fulfilled all day. I pick out who I think should fulfill them, and I try to force them to do it with threats of the withdrawal of my concern and my love and my relationship. Well, you know, whatever I try to use to get it. But I know I'm the only one that does that, and I would really like you all to help me with this issue, because I know this is not true of anyone in this room whatsoever. By the look in your eyes, the way that you're looking at me. Is that, really? You do that? I bet you right now, if you're not joyful, it's something you're telling yourself, if it were different, you'd really be happy right now. I bet you anything. Because why would we be ecstatically happy right now? The problem with that is that if you don't really love yourself yet, you'll never try to get that fulfilled through anybody that will do it. Because the plan of a person that does not truly love themselves yet is to make sure that they go after what they want where it's not located. So not only am I trying to figure out what beside myself needs to change, the thing I'm trying to come up with outside of myself is what's guaranteed not to do it. I want to marry a Ku Klux Klan member's daughter. If I marry a Ku Klux Klan member's daughter, I will be truly happy. So notice, first I thought my happiness was outside of myself. Then I'm seeking it through the person that would probably be least likely to say, come on home for dinner. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to seek outside yourself, which is already the part that doesn't work, he tells us. And then I'm going to seek it through what will never give me what I want. Because that keeps me in conflict. That keeps me in fear. That keeps me upset. And conflict, fear, and upset is how we keep ourselves separate from our awareness of God. It's how we keep ourselves unaware of love. It's through fear. So the part of us that believes in fear has to continually give us some form of fear in order to keep the separation going. So the deadliest person to your ego is always the person you enjoy being with the most. The movie that's the deadliest to your ego is the movie you love. The house that's the most deadly to you not loving yourself is the house that you love. Everything that you love, everything that you enjoy, everything that gives you contentment is the enemy of the part of you that believes you're guilty. It will never let you be satisfied with anything so that you can maintain the conflict and the fear that keeps your separation from God going, your separation from love going. So, when you're worried all the time and you're concerned about the gift that you've given and you try to be helpful and you try to be loving and you're wondering if it's really good and you think you pray to God and you've given it up to the higher power and you say, universe, be in charge, but then you have doubt and fear, then you must remember that what you are then doing is introducing fear and not love, so you should regard yourself as the patient and then ask Spirit how your own mind can be healed. It would take the focus off the other person or the external situation immediately. The problem is me, not you. I'm the one that's upset. I'm the one that's concerned. I'm the one that needs you to change in order for me to be happy. I'm the patient. I've given you to God. I've given me to God. I've asked Spirit to be in charge. I've asked for direction. I've followed the guidance as best I can. My continued concern is attacked. And if I'm still worried about it, I shouldn't try to do it again. Wow. So then he says your position has become untenable. Untenable when you're offering fear instead of love, because you're offering hate to somebody you thought you were offering love to. I came here to offer you love. I'm concerned. I'm upset with you. I need you to change every minute. Then I'm not really offering you hate, not love. But if I really offered you love, it's impossible for you to receive anything but love. If that's what I really offered you. So it says, having offered love, only love can be received. If you really offered love, that's the only thing that can be received. And love is freedom, so you could say, if I've offered freedom, freedom is the only thing that you can receive. So how do I offer you freedom? I offer you freedom by freeing you. Which I won't do as long as I think I need you to make me happy. I will not free you when I think my happiness depends on you. I will not free you when I think my happiness depends on you. I will not let you be when I think my happiness depends on you. And every time I get upset in a relationship, that's what I'm saying. I think my happiness depends on you. So I'm going to imprison you. Okay, before I go any further, any questions or any comments about anything that I've devastated a part of you about? So what are you saying to yourself in any area of your life right now that you feel is not bringing you joy? What is causing it?
And I think I'm really offering love to someone when I'm really just offering hate and trying to get from them. And it's just a vicious circle is what I'm realizing.
Exactly. I mean, I should meet somebody at a party, and as soon as I see them, I'm feeling sad, but I just saw them, so now I'm getting ready to feel happy, because if I can get with them, I'm going to really feel happy, because I wasn't feeling happy before I saw them. I was hitting somebody just the other day. Who is the perfect person for a relationship? Who is the absolute perfect person to be chosen to be within a relationship? Who is the person that's most able to have a really loving, powerful, good, juicy, fun partnership? The person who absolutely enjoys being by themselves. The person who absolutely enjoys being by themselves is the best partner anyone could ever have. The person who can't be alone, has to have somebody with them all the time, always needs somebody to make them feel good, always looking for what outside themselves. That's the worst person in the world to get into a relationship with. They will work your butt to death. If they haven't heard from you in 24 hours and they're losing their mind, enough said. Anybody? Yes, my dear.
I've also noticed that when I find the peace that I'm looking for, my ego decides to make up something, and it turns the peace into my enemy.
Give me an example of what that would look like.
Today, I was thinking about all of this laundry list of things that I was, I'm wrong about this, but I'm feeling like I'm upset about these things. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, but those are the things that I was asking for. So I got them, and now I'm making myself miserable with them. And and it's just kind of like my own attack upon myself, going, this is too peaceful. It's almost too peaceful in a way that I'm creating like, well, I'm not doing this perfect enough, and it's kind of like, no, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm experiencing what I asked for. So
isn't that great to know that your happiness isn't dependent on anything that you think it's dependent on, because even when you get the thing you think you want, you're still not happy?
I'm glad, but now what?
Yeah, okay, well, just stop it. That'd be $5. Yeah, because we forget, what is that when I say stop it? All that's saying is, choose something different. It just means make a different choice. People are like, that's so abstract. What do you mean? Just stop it. I was getting ready to go off. I didn't. I was watching myself going to go off. I chose not to. It was a decision that I made. If you say you want to stop doing something, all you have to do is be really clear, not that it's bad. Thinking it's bad and thinking that it makes you feel guilty will not make you stop anything. Your own life experience shows you that. There are a ton of things you do every day that you feel guilty about, and you do it again. So we know that feeling guilty does not stop anybody from doing anything. It's the biggest con going. I feel guilty because of what I did to you last night, and all that means you're going to do it again. That's all it means. So when somebody tell you how guilty they feel about something, go, okay, that's going to happen one more time. Because it's the guilt that they want. And it doesn't matter what they're doing. They just want to feel guilty because they want to punish themselves because they don't think they deserve to be loved. Right. So they're trying to give themselves the punishment that they think will absolve them of the guilt that they have. So they just do things that attract attack on themselves to give them the punishment that they think they need, because they think this is going to absolve them of their guilt and they'll be okay again. So people who feel guilty and who want to feel guilty, they're going to keep doing the thing that makes them feel guilty in order to make themselves feel bad, because they think feeling bad makes them a good person. Good people feel bad about what they do. So it's a con game. It's a con game that's happening from the ego level. So the Course is telling us, well, how do you get past that? First of all, I just need to regard myself as a patient, realize that I've given it to the Holy Spirit, I've given it to a power that can't fail, ask what to do, try to do it. If I don't do it, and I think it's not working, then I should not try to repeat that again. I need to work on my mind instead of you at that point. Instead of trying to help you, I need to let myself be helped. So the focus should be off of you, and the focus should be on changing my mind. I realize that my basic problem is I think I'm separate from the Creator. I think I'm separate from God. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the Creator. I don't believe in love. I don't believe that the power greater than my own ego is the real problem. I really think I'm on my own by myself doing everything. That's the real problem. And I might be coming to this class so I can get more information on how I can handle things better on my own. Which is the problem. Is me trying to handle everything on my own without tapping into the higher power. That's what the difference between a spiritual class and just a personal growth self-improvement class. A personal growth class has nothing to do with spiritual evolution. It's just, can you tell me how I can get my fantasy quickly and fast as ever? That's what I'm here for. I want my soulmate, and are you going to tell me how I can have my soulmate? Yeah, I'm going to tell you how you can have your soulmate. You can have your soulmate by recognizing everybody is. You're surrounded by soulmates. Another way you can have your soulmate is to say, I'm ready to learn what a relationship really is and what it would take to have a real relationship, because your desire to learn how to have one will draw one to you so that you can have that. You want to make sure you do it with somebody who also wants to be sane and loving too. Because you should not be 100% responsible for the peace of the relationship on your own, which is another trick the ego will pull, is to say you just need to be the only one that's doing all of it on your own without the cooperation of the other person. Which is true, your peace really is coming from you, but then why should you jump into the river and then put an anchor to yourself as you go down? To me, a relationship is analogous to, I got this big ass sofa that needs to be moved. You get one end, I get the other end, we lift it up and we move it. The regular relationship is, I have to lift up the sofa, you sitting on it. That's the way regular relationships work. I'm trying to lift it. I really would lift it easier without you. So if you're happy, don't enter into relationships that you are now unhappy, because you're in it looking for them to change. So I'm not going to harp on that anymore because I'm tired of hearing myself say it. There's some things I'm sick of saying. You know what I'm saying? Like I've said it so many times, I found and heard it. So the minute you hear something, you don't really have as great a desire anymore to be talking about it. You see what I'm saying? I'm not looking for nobody else to make me happy like I used to. I am a much more peaceful person. I take responsibility in relationship. So it seems stupid to me to spend most of my time trying to convince other people that they need to do that. I need to work on the next thing I need to work on, which is, you don't need to be different for me to be happy. You don't need to be different for me to be happy. You don't need to be different for me to be happy. You don't need to be different for me to be happy. And I'm going to do what I can. And if I doubt that it worked, I'm not going to try to do it anymore, because I gave it to the power that cannot fail. And I don't want to offer you fear when I really want to offer you love. So if I'm doing that, then I'm going to ask Spirit to give me another way of looking at it, to let go of the blocks that keeps me from offering you love instead of fear. I'm going to take responsibility for the changes that need to happen in me for me to be more loving with you. That's the best I can do for you. That is the absolute best I can do for you. And that's the best you can do for anybody else. That's me freeing you. The minute you don't feel guilty about something, it has no control over you anymore. The cigarette that you don't feel guilty about smoking, you will never have to smoke another cigarette. Whatever it is you can do that you don't feel guilty about will not have any control over you. You be completely at choice, and you'll find out you pretty much were only trying to do it to prove to yourself that you had some level of freedom that you didn't think you had in the first place, or you were just trying to make yourself feel guilty. So once I recognized I was free to do whatever I wanted to do with my own body, it's my own choice, it's mine, nobody else is paying my utility bill. Then all the stuff that I thought I would do if I thought I was free no longer interested me for the most part, because there was nothing else for me to prove. So then it became, everything about my body became more of a choice, more than I got to have it. You know, it's hard for me to remember the last time I saw somebody and I went, I got to have it. Now it's a hint, no you don't. Now it's become, oh, that's where you need to head in the opposite direction from. That's become now, oh, recognize misery and go the other way. Oh. Ooh, I love it. There are more people that will love you than you can ever get around to. There are more people that can love you than you'll ever get around to. There are more people that can love you than you ever get around to, and they won't ask you to change. I'm proof of it. I'm not asking you to change. And I won't get upset with you until I have an expectation. And as a teacher, it's easy to get into the expectation thing. Whether it's the expectation of myself and the expectation of how I think I should affect you and the expectation of how I would like it to be received when I share and the expectation of who's going to come and who's not going to come. All that was when I get into that stuff, it makes my whole teaching ministry miserable to me. It becomes just like something else that I didn't like, that I was trying to do some other time in my life, that I thought it was different, I'd be happy. You know what I'm talking about, the job that you hated, that you finally got off of, and then you went to another job you hated?
Yeah. Because you hate.
And you're not really asking yourself, what do you really want? You thought it was the people on the job, the situation of the job, the circumstance on the job that was making you unhappy. So you think that all you need is another job because it never had anything to do with you anyway. It was just your coworker. So, okay, so you didn't really think it had anything to do with you to begin with. That's why you would go to another job without making sure it's something that you would really want to do. It's just that, well, it didn't have anything to do with your unhappiness before. So maybe this situation will be better. Maybe this person will serve better. Maybe this circumstance will serve better. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Just picture there's a dam of good waiting for you. Just a whole dam of good. Just damn good. That's right, you know what I'm saying? And it's just waiting. It just wants to get to you so bad. It's like, will you please let me get to you? Will you please let me give myself to you? Won't you please let me love you? Won't you please, don't you please just allow it? How do I do that? Stop saying that this were different, you'd be saved. If they were different, you'd be saved. If the situation was different and the circumstance outside of you would be different, then you would be happy. That's the key to letting it start to happen. Say, I'm the patient. I'm the one who needs to change my mind. I'm the one who needs to change my mind. I'm the one who needs to change my mind. And most of all, I'm the one who needs to recognize I'm not alone. 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 I have help. Help is here. I have help. I have help. And help is here. Help is with me right now. Help is just waiting for me to be willing to allow it to come in my life. I just need to get out of the way. How do I get out of the way? How do I get out of the way? Taking 100% responsibility for the experience that you're having right now is how you get out of the way. There's some people saying, if that music was different, I'd be happy. It needs to be dubstep. It needs to be pop. It needs to be rhythm and blues. It needs to be symphonic. See, that's what you see the game that we do all the time. In every situation, if something about it was a little different, then I'd be happy. And so he says, it's this that you must trust. That if you just given love, only love has been received. This is what's really meant by the statement that the one responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept the atonement or the truth for what? Themselves. My one responsibility is to accept what this book is teaching for myself. My one responsibility is to accept the truth for myself. My one responsibility is to accept my abundance for myself, my love for myself, the truth for myself, the innocence for myself. How can I do that? How can I do that? By accepting it for you. I'll see you the way that you don't see yourself. I'll see you the way that you don't see yourself. I'll see you as innocent when you don't see yourself as innocent. I'll see yourself as deserving love when you don't see yourself as deserving love. I'll see you as being powerful when you don't see you as being powerful. I'll see you as being healthy when you see yourself as being sick. I'll see you as being peaceful when all you feel is depression. I'm going to accept the truth for you even when you've forgotten it.
Thank you.
Sounds like good news to me. Right? And so it says that your responsibility is to accept it for yourself. He says you must first accept them. You don't need to do anything more than that. There's nothing more that you can do than to accept it, because you're going to give the gifts you receive. What does that mean? I've received the gift of knowing that I'm loved no matter what I feel about myself, that I'm innocent no matter whether I think I'm guilty, that I deserve to be helped even if I think I don't deserve it. And so I'm going to give you that gift by believing that about you, even if you don't feel that way about yourself. Mm-hmm. Then it goes on to tell us, he says, by accepting healing, you can give healing. And if you doubt this, let you remember who gave you the gift and who received the gift, and that's how your doubt is corrected. In other words, you thought the gifts of God could be withdrawn. That was a mistake. The love that you've been given by the universe, the love that you've been given by God, the love you've been given by Spirit, the love you've been given by anybody that really loves you cannot be withdrawn. Real love cannot be withdrawn. It's no such thing as I used to love you. I never loved you.
That's right.
I never loved you. You were special to me, but I didn't love you. I withdrew my specialness from you. I withdrew your specialness. That's what I withdrew. You can't withdraw love. You can withdraw specialness. You're not as special to me as you used to be. That's what the person is saying when they say, I don't love you no more. You're not special to me the way you used to be. That's all it means. Real love cannot be withdrawn. Then it goes on to say, that was a mistake. What was a mistake? To think that the gifts of love could be withdrawn, but hardly a mistake to stay with. And so the teacher of God, the teacher of love, can only recognize a mistake for what it is, and then you let it be corrected for you. You recognize the mistakes, and then you let it be corrected for you. Notice the Course in Miracles keeps on trying to get us to the point that we would allow ourselves to be helped. We're so used to having to do everything on our own that we have to have a book that teaches us to allow ourselves to be helped. That's really deep. You know, Spirit wants to help me, but I'm so deep into fear. I'm so deep into my illusions of being alone that I have to actually be helped to get to the point that I let myself be helped. This is a book on how to allow yourself to be helped. One of the most difficult temptations to recognize is that to doubt a healing because of the appearance of continuing symptoms is a mistake in the form of lack of trust. So if you're doubting a healing in any area of your life because it looks like you still have continuing symptoms, that's a mistake. That's a form of lack of trust. So don't doubt a healing because the symptoms still appear. Don't doubt that your abundance, for instance, that idea of lack has been healed in you. Don't doubt it because it still looks like you broke. Don't doubt the healing because of the appearance of continuing symptoms. If you are giving yourself the truth, if you're now dedicated and committed to your spiritual awakening and the truth, if you're committed to change, then you have been healed. And so what you're about to experience is watching the healing happen. For instance, if you have, let's say you have a rash and it's on your body and they're going to give you a shot to get rid of the rash. As soon as they give you the shot, usually the rash doesn't just clear up. It usually say over the next few days you're going to see it fade away. But actually you were healed when they gave you the shot. You're giving yourself the shot right now. You're giving yourself the shot every time you focus on your spiritual path and your spiritual studies, and you focus in on loving more and being more loving and correcting your perception and trying to take more responsibility. You are taking the shot. You are doing the healing. You've given yourself the healing. Stop doubting it just because you still see the residue of the way you used to be surrounding you. Yeah, you used to be lonely. But you're not going to be lonely anymore. Yeah, you used to not have what you thought was enough abundance, but you've taken the shot. You focused in on truth. You focused in on God. You focused in on changing your mind. You cannot do that without having the healing. Don't doubt the healing because the symptoms still continue. And then he goes on to say, because that's just an attack. He says, usually it seems to be just the opposite. It does appear unreasonable at first to be told that continued concern is attack. Continued concern has all the appearances of love. But love without trust is impossible. and doubt and trust can't coexist. I love you, I trust you. I love you means I trust you. I love you means I trust you. I love you means I trust you. You cannot love someone you do not trust. You cannot love someone you do not trust. Someone you do not trust is not someone you love. Love and trust are the same thing. I love you, I trust you. I love you, I trust you. I love you, I trust you. I trust you, I trust you. I trust you, I trust you. Really, really quickly you recognize who you love. I trust you, I fear you. I trust you, I fear you. I trust you, I doubt you. I trust you, I doubt you. I trust you, I attack you. I trust you, I attack you. If I had a GPS in your underwear, I don't trust you. Okay, I see where she's going. Look like she just went to the bathroom. Okay, so takes a minute. Takes a minute. So I need to recognize I don't trust you so that I can trust you. I need to recognize I don't trust you, so I need to get rid of everything in my mind that keeps me from trusting you. What is it that's keeping me from trusting you? What's keeping me from trusting you is I don't trust me, I don't trust me, I don't trust me, I don't trust me. I don't trust me, so I don't trust you. I don't trust me, so I don't trust you. I don't trust me, so I don't trust you. And since I don't trust you, I'll create things that make it seem like you're untrustworthy. It will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't trust you, and then I'm going to start seeing things about you that make me feel suspicion. First of all, I chose you because I couldn't trust you. So, love without trust is impossible. Doubt and trust cannot coexist, and hate must be the opposite of love, regardless of the form hate takes. Doubt the gift, and it's impossible to doubt the result of the gift. This is a certainty that gives you the power to become a miracle worker. You put your trust in God. You put your trust in the universe. You put your trust in spirit. See, I appreciate you all coming. I appreciate you all sharing me. I do this full time in the world. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for everything that you share with me. But I do not see you as my source. Because then I would imprison you. And I would be a nervous wreck. Because I don't know who's going to be here from week to week. So if I looked at it like I had to trust in you fulfilling a script for me, I could never enjoy my teaching ministry. But if I go, I trust God. I trust my source. I trust that which created me. I trust my creator. I trust that whatever put me here didn't just drop me here and say, okay, read some books and you'll make it. You know, it's like, yeah, that can be helpful, but what's behind that? You know, so the Course is telling us that if I'm dependent on you in that way, I trust the Holy Spirit in you. I trust God in you. I trust God in you. I trust the Holy Spirit in you. I trust the love in you. I trust the Spirit in you. I don't trust none of your egos. And you better not trust mine. I don't trust any of your egos. None of them. The part of you that thinks you're separate from me, the part of you that thinks I'm somebody else, the part of you that thinks I'm a body, I don't trust it. And you better stop trusting it too. But the part of you that's love, the part of you that's spirit, the part of you that's God, the part of you that decided to be here in the first place, the part of you that's innocent, the part of you that's divine, I totally trust that part of you. I totally trust that part of you. And it doesn't have anything to do with the personality that's sitting there in the chair. I trust what brought you here. That's the part of you that I trust. Because something loved you so much that it brought you to a place that told you that you are loving, you are lovable, you deserve love, and that you are a powerful being who has all kinds of support, that has a damn good waiting for you. Even if there's a part of you that doesn't even believe it. And if you're upset about anything you've heard me say, you just didn't hear me. Because anybody that gets upset about somebody telling them they deserve to be loved, that they're valuable and worthwhile, that's your issue. It's not mine. If you don't trust me, it's because you don't trust yourself. And you don't even know who I am. I'm you. I'm your brother. I am one with you. I am you.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am. Your acknowledgement of me is your acknowledgement of your freaking self. It's not a favor. You're not stroking my ego. If you acknowledge me or appreciate me, you're acknowledging you. Or this is just a bunch of crap that we're doing every day. At what point do we really start looking at it like we are joined? When I no longer see you as having to act out my fantasy in order for me to be happy, that's when it's going to happen. When I'm no longer putting my grievances and expectations on you, that's when it's going to happen. When I'm taking responsibility for my own experience, then that's when the love and the trust is going to happen. So I'm going to love you whether you love me or not. Because I don't source love, I channel it. I get out of the way. Let it do its thing through you. You just need to get out of the way. Love will take care of the rest of it. You don't create love. You don't make love. You can't make love. There's no such thing as making love. I feel weird when I even say something like that to somebody. Let's go make love. No, let's go make fear. Let's go make some fear tonight, baby. Because when did I go to crazies? Right after that.
Yep.
I tell people, until you're conscious, sex is the crazy switch. It's the crazy switch. Totally sane. Sex happens. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Totally sane. Till the body gets involved. Then all of a sudden, sanity leaves unless you realize that no one can hurt you. No one can do anything to you. You're not a victim of the world that you see. You're the one that's the chooser. You're the one that's the creator. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are loving. You are loved. You are real. You are saved. You are not alone. Don't doubt the healing because the symptoms still continue. Would you acknowledge yourself for hearing any of this? Whoa. Let's really acknowledge ourselves for really hearing this. Whoa. That's what I'm talking about. Woo. Woo. Thank God. Y'all so cool. You're so cool. Let's do the financial expression of appreciation. And don't believe what I just said. I depend on all of y'all for everything. Because there's something in the world. You have your own special function. There's something for you to do that nobody else in this world can do. Everybody came here to win. You didn't come here to lose. You came here to win. It was set up for you to win before you got here. So you have a special function that nobody else can feel. And when you feel that function, you would know it because that's when you feel contentment and fulfillment for the first time in your life. You would know when you're fulfilling your function because your happiness and your function are the same thing. Your happiness and your function are the same thing. Your happiness and your function are not two different things. Your happiness and your function are the same thing. That's how you know when you're fulfilling your function. And if you're not happy right now, just ask yourself, what is my function? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? Who do you want me to say it to? And I am assuming responsibility for what I'm feeling. And I'm no longer going to live my life as if everything has to be different in order for me to be happy, because then I'll never enjoy anything that's happening now. And then people will start showing up from everywhere. The last thing that you'll be concerned about is being lonely. It won't be a problem with being lonely. It would be you being sometimes frustrated because there's many more beautiful people in your life than you can possibly get around to and spend time with the way that you would like to. That's the dilemma that I experience. And everybody that I know that's beginning to love themselves. The last thing you hear any of them say is, I'm lonely. Because they feel so good with themselves that if they had to spend Sunday afternoon with themselves, they'd be okay with that. So they're never lonely. See, that doesn't mean there's always a body with me, because it's insane to believe you are alone unless a body is with you. The Course says that's what's insane, is to think that you're alone because somebody is not with you. Whew. You're never alone. Are you a spiritual being inhabiting a physical body? How many of you all believe that at some level that's what you're learning that you are? Okay. So why is it so outrageous to believe there could be spiritual beings not inhabiting physical bodies? Since you're saying you're not just a physical body, you're a spiritual being expressing through a physical body, then that means the spiritual being that you are must be different or separate from your physical body. Your car is what you get into to allow yourself to move to another location. But are there people who are not in cars? Well, there are beings that are not in bodies. Like everybody you call dead. Stop buying into the crap that we were taught that helped us forget who we really are. I'm telling you, it's time to wake up and stop believing that crazy stuff that we were taught, that we're just bodies that just live a little while that's dead, that dies, and that we're on our own by ourselves and we don't have any help and you got to trust nobody and you got to figure it all out and you're the victim of everything around you. That is so old. That is so ridiculously old right now that even you can't enjoy it the way you used to. That's what's ridiculous. You tired of yourself. You don't even want to hear your story no more. Just write say your story into a tape recorder, into a digital recorder. Just say your story. Say your story, say your whole story, and the next time you're ready to tell somebody your story, just flick on the record. Go for a walk and then come back and say, listen to my story, I'll be back in an hour. Because you tired of hearing it. And then as soon as you leave, they're going to turn the recorder off. Because they don't want to hear your story either. So the one reason you should tell somebody your story, and that's if you're going to use that story to remind you of the truth about who you are, and not use that story just to continue a pattern that you know doesn't serve you anymore, then it's great. Right? So tell your story to the person that don't think you your story. I don't think you're your story. I don't. You're too cute to be your story. You are. When I say you're cute, I'm not talking about your bodies. Even though your bodies are cool, don't get me wrong. Some cool bodies around here. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're sacred.
You're beautiful. You're sacred.
So great to see Lynette here today. Lynette and I go back way long time ago. When I was teaching in Memphis. And a lot of love for you. A lot of appreciation for you. Far beyond what you may even be aware of. Absolutely. And the saner I get, the more I love you.
I want that for myself.
Right. So I'll hold the light for you. You know, when you forget, I won't say you're right. Like some people do. I feel like I'm a horrible person. You are horrible. You're absolutely correct, as a matter of fact. Now, let me tell you what you did just last week. You really are horrible. You know? So, y'all know those people, don't you? You tell them something instead of trying to help you feel better, they add something to it. You know, well, you forgot about what you did last Christmas, though. Add that to it. So, a holy relationship is somebody that recognizes you. That's a sacred relationship. And that includes taking trips, going to movies, going dancing, walking, all the stuff you're doing in the world. There's no sacrifice on this path. It's not asking you to sacrifice the things you experience in your physical body in the world that's enjoyable. It's just saying you can do it with some sanity, with some peace, with some love. It's not asking you to give up anything that you truly want and truly desire. It's actually asking you to let yourself finally have it. Yeah? All right. So, Tuesday night, I'm going to be back to do the way of mastery. Remember one thing as you go into the week. The form of the mistake is not what's important. The only thing that's important is the recognition of a mistake as a mistake. The mistake is failing to recognize that you are not alone. That you recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem, what you say? Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem has been solved. Hey! Let me recognize the problem has been solved. Then I want to say, let me recognize the problem has been solved. Give it up, Holy Spirit. I appreciate you. Woo! 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 So if you haven't started the course, if you haven't started the workbook, if you haven't started your spiritual practice, please start it as soon as you possibly can. Take the shot. Take the shot, the true shot. And then have some fun. All right? Hugs are available. I love you. Thanks for coming. Thank you.